You have 3 coins. You have 3 coins. You toss it once. Wait, you have 3 coins. Okay, we are going to list them out. I won't give you the answer. We are going to list the possible outcome of tossing 3 coins once. Or it's the same as tossing 1 coin 3 times. So we are going to give you the list so that you see for yourselves. And you tell me whether you are right or wrong. Okay. So how many are saying 8? How many are saying 4? 6. We both. Okay, so we are going to list it. Okay. Okay. So can you see? Assuming our first toss, we have all head, right? Our second toss, our next outcome, we have head, tail. Are you okay? Okay, then we have head, right? And we have, okay? Okay, so we are starting another list. So we have what? Here can be, then we have, and we have tail, and we have what? How many do we have? So where are 4 people? You don't understand. Yes, I said 3 coins. No, I said 3 coins tossed once. No, there are 3 coins. Because, you know why there are 3 coins? On the first, this are 3. 1 coin, 1 coin, 1 coin, 3. So there are 3 coins. If there were 4 coins, you would have 4 in one group. So in order to be able to do this calculation easy without listing them out, right? We were saying that for a coin, it has only 2 sides, right? And it is tossed how many times? So that 3 be raised to the power 3. And 2 raised to the power 3 is what? 8. This is the easiest way you can get it. So no matter the number of times it is tossed, you can use this to get your answer. Yes. A coin has 2 sides. A coin has 2 sides, right? So if you toss it 3 times, right? That 3, the number of times of tossing it will be the raised to the power 3. If it is 4, this will give us 8, right? If it is 4, it will be 2 raised to the power 4. 16, right? So you have 16. If it is once, and it is what? That is how you get the possible outcomes. Are you okay? Yes. Okay, let's break it. 2 times 2 is what? 4 times 2 is what? So this is telling us 2 raised to the power n, where n is the number of times we do towards the pen. Okay? Yes.
If a coin has 2 sides,
Mm-hmm.
what of a die?
Yes, we have gotten to dice here. I think I have a dice question. Oh, I didn't get to dice. We didn't do dice. Oh. Anyway, that would have been interesting. You want us to do dice? Okay. Let's finish this one. So, you see, I've explained this, right?
Yes.
Yes, when we say possible outcomes, right, we should understand the idea of possible outcomes. Possible outcome does not limit you to that one event you are just doing. You understand? It gives you the range. When we say this thing, the 8 years, giving you the range of all that may happen, a complete set of all possible outcomes that you get when you throw this die. It doesn't limit you to throwing this once. Do you understand? If I throw this once, giving me just one event. Do you understand? Just one event, which may be part of the 8. Do you understand? Which may be part of the 8. So whatever you have done here once is 1 over that 8. Do you understand? So it is not limited to just that one experiment.
That is what I want.
What I want you to understand is the possible outcome is not limited to your tossing of ones. We are looking at the range of possible event that will occur when this happens. So when you do it once, we should find it in that list. Please, do you understand me? That is why we have 8. So
you have one father who is
this question, I give this question, and then I actually did you a favor by giving you the possible outcomes, which from now I know most of you could have even listed it out, but I listed it out, and then I gave you the possible outcomes to be 4. A fair coin is tossed twice. You see, it's tossed twice. It's one coin, which is tossed twice. And you know that one coin at all times is 2 sides. So we are talking of one coin. That is why we have these 2. You understand? So one coin being tossed twice, you have 4 possible outcomes. So we are saying we should find exactly 2 heads, no head, at least one head, a head and a tail. So here is the solution. I was expecting that. I didn't, okay, some of you did go through the pains of giving me these details, right? This tells me, this tells me you understand what you're doing. But if you simply ignore this and you give me this, what is this? What is this? What does it represent? Do you understand? So this is telling you that the number of times, or you expect me to assume, okay, this is what he means, and I'll match. And so here is the number of times the event gene occurs, which is 3. We are saying that what? Let G denote the probability of obtaining at least 1 head. And from our list here, at least 1 head. Can you count? Exclude the T and T because we don't have head there. So we have 3. So that will be 3 all over the total possible outcome, which is 4. And the first one, is that it? Yeah, the first one, they are saying let F denote the event of obtaining no head. And that is only 1, the TT. And that will be 1 over the total possible outcomes of 4. Okay. Most of you got that. That was good. And then we have the event and the tail. And that is 2. You know why it's 2? And that is 2 over 4. Then we have our 1 over 2. We've simplified. Any questions? Or something you didn't understand? Yeah.
Madam, please, from the question, you asked that exactly 2 heads. Exactly
I think I solved that one for you. Did I not? Yes, so that was not part of your assignment. The 3 over 4.
So the 3, the one that we had the 3.
Did we have 3 somewhere?
3 over 4. At least 1 head.
No. Okay, let's note the probability of obtaining at least 1 head. So if it's at least 1 head, you can have head, tail, tail head, and head head. That is 3. All over the total possible outcomes of 4. So you have 3 over 4. Okay. So question was a bit tricky. That is the question some most of you were found wanting. Yeah? You said what? Probability. Okay. We'll go back. Ask.
So during the solving of the equation, I had a problem with it. The question that says the head and the tail. Thinking, yeah, head and tail, where A into the was a little you have HT, the TA. So I was thinking it's only the HT and the TH wouldn't be included. Because we have head tail and a tail head. So it was a little confusing, but I got the answer correct in the assignment. That was a little bit confusing.
What was the confusion?
Because we have head, tail, and tail head. But
So you think that
the head and the tail, which is H and T, we need to bracket the head and the tail.
So from your list, when you look at your list of possible outcomes, When you look at your list of possible outcomes, you have head and head, you have tail and tail, which are double. They are all double, isn't it? Head, head, tail, tail. And then you have what? Head, tail, and you have tail, head. So if you're asked to obtain a head and a tail, when you look at your possible outcomes, head and a tail are 2. Unless you are talking of position. Yes, because we are talking about obtaining either head or tail. So the position doesn't matter. It's either head or tail.
The question can be tail and head instead of head and tail.
No. No.
So, okay, attached to head, that means it's talking about one. Okay, and attached to tail, also talking about one. So it doesn't matter whether the H writing of it should be the H first or the T first. So what the head is 1 over the comes with that 1. Okay, so if I understand, you said the head is only 1, which is the head is making it only 1, right? Yeah. Okay, so if it's making it only 1, I only have HT, which is only 1 in the set over there.
No, listen. What he's saying is that, wait, calm down and break all the, and listen. Yes, listen. Are you listening?
Yes.
When you say, the question is, let H denote the event of obtaining a head and a tail. When you look at your possible outcomes, how many of them has a head and a tail? How many of them has a head and a tail? Simple. Don't go beyond that. They are asking you, how many of them has a head and a tail? They can even ask you, how many of them has a tail and a head?
I asked that question and then you said no. I asked earlier if it can be interchangeable whereby the tail comes before the head.
In the writing.
Yes, in the writing.
That's fine. How many? Let's H denote the event of obtaining a tail and a head. It's the same as let the event of obtaining a head and a tail. I'm talking of the English. I'm talking of the English. Do you understand me now? So the air there tells you that either of them can happen. Any other question? So question 2, it was talking about increase in population of 25%. And I should have made someone answer this question. I've made it. So we had in 95. But I want to ask you, when you are so advanced, you have to be conscious of your numbers. If you omit 10, you are talking of a different number altogether. And I've seen some of you doing that. We are talking of 6,000. You are talking of what? 60,000, and you are writing 6,000. So if your answer is 75,000, you are getting what? 7,500. So you see here, when you look at the method the person used, you know that the person understood it, but probably, I don't know. So you can mark the person and then you simply penalize the person on those omissions, but you can't mark the person wrong. Do you understand me? But if it's objectives, waiting, that one, there is no method for anyone to look at. Okay, so you're okay with question 2? Any questions there? You're okay. So question 3, I've seen a lot of different solutions, right? Some were quite good, brilliant, and some too, I don't know where they were getting their analogy. The question is simple and straight to the point. But people were thinking beyond, were thinking of some bigger numbers behind the scenes. So they were subtracting 100 from 35 and all. The question is straight to the point. The duty was 45%, and it has been increased to 35. It has been decreased to 35. Simply give us the what? The previous price. So we know the previous price of 45%. We don't know, but we know that 35 represents the 5,400, isn't it? So you simply do your E plus more device and you get your answer. Some also use having this 35, they decided to find 100% of it. So if you get 100%, you calculate 45% of the 100% and you still get it. But this one is simple and fast, yeah. You didn't get it. How did you understand the question?
From the question, how I understood it was, since the new duty rate is 5,400, and it was at a rate of let's say 35. No, the duty of the car decreased from 45 to 35. So what I did was to subtract.
I'm listening.
Or find the difference in the duty change, the percentage. So I subtracted the 45, the 25 from the 40, getting 10%.
Yes, hold on there. I saw this, and you should know that if you subtract that 35, the 45, that percentage that you get, you can't calculate it on this. You can only calculate it on this. Do you know why? Because the former duty is 45,000, and we are saying that it has been increased to 35. It has been decreased to what? 35, right? So the decrease is what? 10% decrease. On that 10% decrease, on what amount was that decrease applied on? That is what you should understand. That decrease of 10% was not done on this. This is the result of that decrease of 10%. You get it? This is the result of that decrease. So you should look at on what amount was that decrease applied to get this. That is why you got it wrong, because you applied the 10%. No, that's why I'm saying that you can have different methods, but you have to first understand the question and also use the correct principles. Any other question to understand it better? Because I was seeing very wonderful calculations. Yes, wonderful. Okay. And all right, next week. Okay, yeah. You want us to? Sure. Which one? The second question is? The second one. Both. Okay, please. Someone wants to do it here. So please, let's just do it and then. I was hoping that get to answer. There's a gentleman at there. He had some questions for us. Are you ready? You have some questions for me? So, in 95, the population was what? 60,000, isn't it? And then in 2007, there was an increase. In 2007, there was an increase of 25%, isn't it? So we know that that will be what? Isn't it? So let me do this so that they'll all be on the same. So this will be 100%, which is 60,000. Are you okay? So do you want us to apply our rule? Who can do it for me? So you are expecting to get here, more or less. So what will our fraction look like?
It should be 125 over 100 times 6,000.
Yes, I saw someone doing 100 over 125, yet the person still got 75,000. Yes. Hmm? So we have what? If what? Well, you said what should it be?
125 over 100 times 60,000.
Okay, so that will give us our 75. If you want us to break it down, this will go, so you can do this, or you can just multiply and then you get your 75,000. Or you can do this, you get it smaller and then you multiply. Cool. Question? Fine, you can ask. Tell me. Yes. It's still correct. So when you find 25% of 60,000, you get what? 15. Then you add the 15 to the 60. You should understand that. You don't subtract the 15 from the 60. I saw that too. You don't do that. When you subtract it, that means you are telling us a different scenario. So, question 3. Question 3, it says what? Increase in duty is 35%. So we know that what? 35% is what? 5,100, which has been given. 45%, we don't know. So if 35% is this, what will 45%? Because the reason why we remain here, because you should know that this amount that they gave us is based on the previous amount, which they have told us was 45. Do you understand me? They have told us that previous amount. That is why here we are not doing 100 minus whatever, because they have given us the rates. And this 5,400 is based on that initial amount. Because here, even if you calculate, if you are able to, you get your sister on 942, then you calculate 10% on it. Then you add the amount you get. When you add it to 5,400, you should come back to this. So this is the basis which they gave us as 45%. So since we have been given the 45%, more or less, so we have 45% over 35 times 5,400. Yes.
Madam, writing this, if let's say I take percentage off and I just write 35 over 45.
I'll mark it. Because in any case, this thing is going away because you get it. Because the final result is not even in percentages. Okay. Yeah, okay. When you do this, you get your final figure of 6,942.86 pesos. Is that? Round, oh, some people, you can round it up. The reason I rounded it up to 2 decimal places is that we are talking about currencies. So it has 2 decimal places. Currencies has what? So, but some people rounded it up to whole figures, and I still, of course, they had it right. Is that a question? Is that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, you are taking it on the other way around, right? Okay, let me finish with this one. Okay, here, what can we use? 5? 5. So here is what? 7, eh? And what do we have? 9. So this, I believe 7 can, what do you get there? So you have 9 over 7 times 5,400. You can use your calculator to get that. Yes.
45%.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming you subtract 45%, assuming you subtract 45% from 100%, you get 45%.
Get 55.
You get 55.
Why would you want to subtract 145?
Because the previous one is like the first one, we added 100% is 25%.
This one, they have told us that the previous one is what? 45. They have given us the percentage, so you have to work with that. You don't need to introduce another percentage because you have been told that the previous one was what? 45. And on that basis, the decrease was made to 35. So you need to work with the percentages you've been given. Are you okay? So when you use your calculator, you get the same. You got it. What was this? 942. Yeah. And then it is, we are talking about cedis. We are talking about currency. So it's appropriate to make it 2 decimal places. That is why I did that. Okay. All right. So I think that our time is up. Next week, God willing, we'll be looking at angles. So next angles, simple. We are not going for angles. The whole idea is that for you to understand certain basics and apply it in other areas, okay? So we are not going hard maths here. We are not going elective. We are not going calculus. Yeah. Your what? What? How do you mean? Are not graded. I'm still marking. So, but I'm not receiving any new assignments. So don't worry. You get your grade. Okay. I'm still marking. I've marked almost more than half. So I'll get you. And some of you submitted even late. Yes. It will come. Okay. Yes, and there were issues where some of you were giving me answers. There's someone who submitted set answers to the probability question one last week. I didn't mark that. And two, sometimes I give the opportunity to resubmit when I realize that you have interchanged the question. And some still they send the same thing. If you do that on mark, because there are 3 assignments. If you submit the same assignments on all 3, and then you get all 10, that means that you haven't done the other 2. So if you submit the wrong, assignment to the wrong link, you are not getting any marks for that. Understand? So I'll see you next week. And then have a blessed week.
Well, I realized that I normally write, I'm the one normally saw piece of paper. I take a screenshot, but this one I realized that my second, the second third question, when I was trying to do the submission, I was having issue with my submission.
You are having issues.
Which I've worked already, but submitting one so I wasn't able to submit.
You have technical issues.
Well, this one when I came, I was
You contacted me with it.
at that time I was so I told him, he said he will rectify it. So during the week, if probably they are giving an assignment again, I will not be able to. So I brought my laptop
For him to
check for me. So I was just asking what will be the way forward.
because the way it is,
It's not
the portal, I need to with outside. So if you have issues immediately, if you call me and I send him a text, you don't need to always call him.
but Dr. Samako said because we are many, we should we should give him yes 48 hours. But yesterday when I was asking him was the people affect me at the end of the day.
So which one did you submit?
So I submitted the probability.
And so the other,
what was the decrease and the increase, but that was what
so you could have done it, solve it on a different, take a new picture and submit.
no, when you want to submit, that's it keep popping up that's the picture.
Which picture? One you have.
It keep popping up.
Maybe you saved it the same name.
This one,
This
that
one,
was what I became.
You, I think the technical, let's sort out with the technical first. Okay, but right now,
So I send it to your mail.
send it to my mail. I can't grade you there.
Seriously. So my English for all the 3 assignments, it's just never.
So you talk to him and then don't be worried, it will be sorted. Talk to him and then when he sorts it out, you will see. Okay. But whatever you send it, you have already sent it.
Yes, on the page, but that one is published. So the 3, all my 3, I submitted it like that. that was the thing that was showing. That was what that was.
Okay, we will
So I
resolve
really
that.
want to show you for evidence.
Yeah, for me too. I have it here.
Oh,
This one. This one, forget.
Oh, God. Even Nancy yesterday. I brought it. No, don't laugh. It's so funny. I said, I just wait for
Don't worry, I'll get it. Submit it. I'll get it.
I would advise that I put pressure on the madam.